Things started out so well. You were motivated, excited, and you knew that this time would be the time that things finally changed. But something happened, and suddenly things weren't going according to plan. And you think, I want to change, but why is it so hard? Why can't I seem to do it? You are not crazy, lazy, or doomed to failure. No. You are in the slump. It is the hardest and the most critical part where you have to decide whether to keep going or go back to what you know and maybe at some point try again. I have had years of letting the slump dictate my journey and stop me from making the changes that I wanted to make. And I finally learned how to recognize and get out of the slump so that I can keep moving forward. So if you've also found yourself in a slump, but you really want to change, keep watching. Welcome back, my friends, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Christy, and I make content centered around realizing no matter where we are in life, no matter our age, we are just on time to live the life of our dreams. And right now, we're in the middle of our Show Up for Summer challenge where we are working to be our best selves by summer. I am almost embarrassed to say how quickly I fell into a slump after being so excited to start. So the other day, I had a full-on breakdown. I woke up and it was just I felt like I was working so hard in a couple of areas and I felt defeated literally from the moment I woke up because I felt like I wasn't seeing the progress that I wanted to see. And after a few hours and some pep talks from my husband, it was like, all right, I get it. I'm in a slump. Now, what is the slump? As we're going on our journey, working to be whoever it is that we're trying to become, working to attain whatever goal it is that we're trying to achieve, we will enter into this time even several times where it feels like things aren't happening. We feel like maybe we've even had a setback and we realize, oh, this is hard. And during that time, we wonder what's happening because we know that we're committed to change. We know that we were so excited to start this process. And we even pictured and understood that there might be a time where things got a little bit difficult. But again, we were committed to this change. And the reality of that difficulty hits us hard and sometimes takes us by surprise. Coming to these slumps is a normal part of the process. It is a normal part of the journey as we're trying to get to whatever our goals are. It is the hardest part to push through, but also the most defining moment in our journey, whether it is that we're trying to lose weight or grow a YouTube channel or start a business or go back to school or whatever the case may be, fill in the blank. It is a critical moment because it's the moment that actually leads to change. The slump often defines whether we will give up and go back to what it is that we know, or if we're going to keep pushing forward toward the thing that we want, but there's a bit of fear about whether or not we're going to get there. In this part, we don't see the hill on the other side. We see plateaus and we see failures and we see rejection and we see fears, but we have to push through anyway. So how do we do that? I am digging myself out of this spot right now with a few goals that I have, and recognizing that I've hit a slump is what has helped me to keep going, because there are times when I'm like, well, maybe this is too big, maybe this will never happen. But I know that if I keep pushing forward, then the only outcome is for it to happen. When we realize that we're in a slump, we have to have tools to help us to get past it. So here's some things that have helped me and that are helping me in the moment to actually work through this slump. First off, feel the feels. Do not try to deny that you're feeling some type of way about this, because when we try to bury it and we don't deal with it, we actually make things worse for ourselves and end up sabotaging our progress. Once we allow ourselves to feel whatever it is that we're feeling, then we can move to a rational space. It is okay to be sad or frustrated. So if you're like me and you need a good cry, just let it out. If you need to hit something, go take a kickboxing class. If you need time to just be alone, go do that. But allow yourself to feel what it is that you are feeling and process those emotions. Along with that, talk it out. Many times in the slump, there's actually a lot of fear, and it helps us to be able to verbalize what that fear is. There are lots of different ways to be able to do this. You can pray, you can journal, you can talk to a friend, but the goal is to actually put words to what that fear is, actually put words to what you're feeling. It's another way of being able to process what is happening internally and also be able to get advice or even just a listening ear back. The next thing is to recognize that that feeling of defeat is actually necessary in pushing you forward. There is a lesson in this part, and you have to think through what that lesson is. After having my moment, I realized that I am in a season right now where I am just tired. I have a lot going on. I'm juggling a lot of balls, which makes things a lot more difficult because I'm already feeling a bit depleted. Not impossible, but it is challenging and I have to stay aware of that. I also realize that my natural tendency is to beat myself up or compare myself when I don't see fast results or things aren't going the way I've planned for them to go. And so I have to be more patient with myself and just trust the process. Sometimes, especially with the things that we really want, those things just come a lot more slowly. And it's in those times that we learn the most about ourselves. We learn about how we think. We learn about the things that we need. And those are lessons that we would not learn without the slump. The next thing is to move against the fear and to make the right choice in that area. The idea is to show up anyway. If you have not seen my video about making the choice to show up, I will link it here. But our goal is just to show up anyway. And it is especially important now in these slump times that we make a decision to show up. It goes against what you naturally want to do, which is to go back to old habits or to give up. But doing an action in the direction that you want to go when you're not feeling super confident about it, actually cast a vote for this thing that you want, this thing that you're working toward being part of your identity. I talk a lot about identity on this channel, and the way that we make lasting and sustainable change is through making that thing be part of our identity. And so if you are in the slump and you're trying to lose weight, make the choice to eat a healthy meal. If you're wanting to grow your YouTube channel or grow your social media platforms, make the video, write the post. If it's starting a business, set up that meeting or that phone call. It's in these moments where you actually have to make that leap of faith where I'm not seeing it, but I am still going to act in that direction because I know that this thing is for me. Remind yourself of what you've accomplished. So often when we're in the slump, we don't see how far it is that we've come. And we truly do forget what we've accomplished. Babe, you started. And that is so much more than so many people have the courage to do. Celebrate that. No matter where this journey is taken, it's going to be up, down, loop-de-loop, but celebrate the fact that you actually started. Pat yourself on the back and keep going. Do something that feels good. Sometimes we hit the slump because we're not properly taking care of ourselves. This goes back to what I was saying earlier, where I recognize that I'm in a season where things are just really busy right now. And so I'm having to give myself some extra attention, some extra self-love, pour into my cup a little bit more. So taking a step back to go on a walk, to have a good meal, to laugh with my husband, and to just relax a little bit and give myself that permission to do that has helped me to take my mind off of the stress that I've been feeling and actually get back to a good place. Keep going. What I mean by that is don't feel like you always need to start over. Even if you've gotten completely off track, once you realize, hey, I'm off track, get back on the track. Say with the YouTube example, you got in a slump and you didn't post for 2 months. Just start doing it again. Or say you overate one day. The next day, just get back to your normal eating. I found that restarting requires this internal buildup, and it automatically puts us in the mindset that we failed. You don't always need to restart. Sometimes you just need to get back on the horse and keep going. It's part of why I don't love the 75 hard challenge that is super viral, has been for the past few years. The idea of having to restart if you had a slip up on day 53 means that all of the progress, all of the hard work that you put in just doesn't matter anymore. And that has just never really set well with me or the way I think or just with who I am. I'm actually working on my fitness right now, and I have lost a good deal of strength and stamina. If you did not see those push-ups in the video I posted a couple of weeks ago, strength lost. But I'm not restarting my fitness journey. No, I took a much needed mental break from lifting and now I'm back on it. It's still part of my identity. It's still who I am. I am just now realigning my actions with that part of me again. You can change your life. There will be moments that are going to be so difficult, but you can do it. As we are in this Show Up Summer 60 challenge, it's okay that we're not going to be perfect. There are days when I'm like, dang it, I didn't do that. I should have done that, but I missed it. But I keep pushing forward. And that is how we actually get to success. Having pauses, having slumps, having setbacks, that's okay. That's part of the journey. It's part of how we learn. It's part of how we grow. But what's not okay is giving up. So let's keep going and pushing ourselves. Oh, by the way, if you're not subscribed, what are you doing? I'm gonna need you to jump on that. Alrighty, my loves, big high fives to you. I am rooting you on. I'm rooting myself on. We've got this. See you in my next. Mwah. Bye for now.